This podcast is part of Another Happy Studios,
the home of podcasts with passion.
Hello and welcome once again to Dr Victor's podcast. I'm your host David and join with me as always my co-host Brian. Brian, how are you today?
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm good. I knocked my elbow off the radiator there, so apologies for that. But if you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning listener, then also welcome.
I'm a returning listener.
You're a returning host. So
I listen to our podcast.
Well, that makes one of us. But yeah, if you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning listener, welcome. We have new episodes every single Wednesday, as well as bonus episodes. Well, actually, I was going to say every other weekend. We're coming to the end of that, so make sure to listen to our 2025 wrap-up to hear what's coming next, I suppose, for next year of bonus episodes.
Eventually,
it'll be...
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. We've two bonuses left. I think.
Bonuses left, yeah. So mark your calendars. There's two more to come.
And one of them's done, so like no point setting in suggestions.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about bonus episodes.
Nah.
And we're not even here to talk about, well, we are going to talk about Frankenstein. Jesus Christ, I don't know where I'm at. We're recording this very late. I don't think we've ever recorded an episode this late.
That's not true. When was the Oscars and the Penguin?
Oh, that's true. We did the Oscars like that. We did the live reactions to the Oscars like at 2 a.m, like when it was on. So that was pretty late. But
it's never happening again.
We're going to talk about Frankenstein. We're going to talk about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. But before we get into that, Brian, have you got a trailer of the week for us?
Mm-hmm.
Go on, hit us with it. What do you got?
Do you think now that in both of our lifetime, right, in our generation, right, wherever we may be, we've lived to the point where we've had so many original movies that we can now say, why the fuck are you making a remake, verbatim, shot for shot, of an original that we can call that came from our timeline, from our generation?
Yeah.
So it's like our folks in their time of their youth getting a Ghostbusters movie, and then sure, like a mere 10 years later they get a shot for shot remake. Why are we getting a live action Moana movie when we have Moana?
Yeah.
Now,
it's when did Moana come out?
2016.
So 10 years later. It's just not needed. It's really just not needed.
This is 100% spearheaded by DJ.
Yeah, I mean, we do in a way have it because we had Lilo and Stitch earlier this year. But like, that's something that came out in our lifetime and is remade.
But that came out in 2002.
Yeah,
where our minds functioning at the time.
Mine was. I don't know about you.
Think, were you in 2002? Were you going, I love this movie Lilo and Stitch. I am going to talk about it in my podcast, and I'm going to be a movie critic and analytic of the movie going world, and I'm going to be well informed of what's to come from this studio that made Lilo and Stitch and companion.
No, I know what you're. Okay, I know what you're saying.
Do you get the point?
I know what you're saying.
We did not give a fuck because we could not give a fuck because we's children at the time.
But yeah, has there ever been such a short time between an original movie and then a live action remake? Like 10 years. Has there ever been?
Okay, maybe literally just this year with How to Train Your Dragon.
Okay, yeah. And I think that the How to Train Your Dragon also, I would have the same criticisms of when that first trailer came out as well. It's like, why are we bothering? Like, you have the original one, and when, especially with the Moana trailer, it only came out on Monday there, so you can go and watch it. But it was so weird because the exact shots that you see in it are exactly the shots from the original Moana, and it's just like it felt like I was watching like an AI rendering of those like, what if we saw Family Guy in real life? Here's what it is.
The Simpsons in real life.
Yeah, it just felt like that, where someone had real lifeified the Moana movie, and I was like, why would I want to watch this over the original? And I know, having watched that trailer now, yes, I will see it because like we see every movie pretty much.
I won't lie, I will look forward to some of the musical sequences, especially You're Welcome. I do like watching Dwayne Johnson sing that song.
Yeah, but it's not going to be better than the original version.
No.
I just really highly doubt it. There's very few, if any, live action remakes that I would prefer over the original.
Yeah.
I would be hard pressed. I would have to really think about it. But It's too soon after the original one. Like, I mean, we also only just got Moana 2 last year.
But we weren't supposed to get that as a Moana 2. That was conceived to be like a 4-part, 5-part Disney Plus release, and then all of a sudden someone came along and said, this is not bad. Maybe re-edit it to make it into a movie.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, made $1 billion.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I would rather see a Moana 3 than Moana remake.
Well, I did say I think it's on record on this podcast, I did want to see a Moana 2 than a Moana remake. And then we got Moana 2, and I'm like, when's Zootopia 2 coming out?
You weren't the biggest fan of Moana 2.
Not
no.
necessarily, no, because I would compare the first Moana to the first Zootopia. Came out in 2016, the two
Yeah.
of them, and it was like people would say Zootopia was the better movie because they're both from Disney animation films
Yeah.
direct, as opposed to like Pixar or Disney live action. But I was a die-hard Moana fan. Like, I still have like my little PowerPoint slide from college of it, depicting the hero's journey. But I guess I'm looking forward to Zootopia 2. I'm more optimistic about that. Yeah.
But yeah, we're not here to talk about Moana, the live action remake.
If it's shit, we won't talk about it at all.
Yeah, surprise. But instead, we're here to talk about a fantastic movie, something that well worth talking about.
Frank.
That being Frank, our good friend Frank.
Frank.
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Probably the best man for the job.
Guillermo del Toro is someone who I just implicitly trust. And now that we've seen what he can do with Frankenstein, I'd love to see him do other monsters or other movies in this style.
Okay, well, Robert Eggers did Nosferatu and he's doing Werewolf. There's a bit of a mix-up, Paul, with the Mummy IP, if you're paying attention to that.
Okay, I'll give you one then that's an untouched story. Undiluted, yeah.
What?
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, that would be good. Maybe Picture of Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray would be one, yeah. You could say the creature from the Black Lagoon, but you could literally just point at The Shape of Water.
Yeah, that feels like he's already done it all right.
Yeah.
But I think that there are some of these gothic stories that would just fit absolutely perfect with his style.
Did you see Crimson Peak?
No, I didn't.
Good gothic romance film. Shape of Water being a good romance film. Frankenstein, good gothic romance film with violence.
Yeah. Are you a big Frankenstein fan generally?
I am now. No. Frankenstein, the IP of Frankenstein, what we know as Frankenstein, right, is like how we know Dracula or the werewolf. Although Dracula is the most popular and Frankenstein being the second popular, like it's Adam Sandler and Kevin James in the Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
Those are the two leading monsters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the most popular. Like, I think the next one under that is the werewolf, the Wolfman. And if you are able to tell me that the Wolfman is Lawrence Talbot, you're sucking Diesel. You know what you're talking about. And then the Invisible Man is supposed to be named Griffin or Griffith. So like those are the IPs.
Frankenstein is such a popular IP or a well-known character for I've never seen that original Frankenstein movie, the Universal version.
Yeah,
and there hasn't been a Universal version in such a long time. Like, I don't know about you, but the only kind of instances where I've seen Frankenstein would be I saw I, Frankenstein, which is really not the Frankenstein story at all, and then also the small part that he plays in Van Helsing.
You can throw in Creature Commandos if you want.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. That's like the DC version of Frankenstein. Like, I wouldn't put that in.
I guess Frankenstein's public domain, so that's why he was allowed to be used.
That's fair.
But it's not as if Creature Commandos. It's not like James Gunn, upon acquiring DC, wanted to throw this well-known
literary character,
century-spanning literary character in. No, he's established in the comics as a monster, hence Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
But Frankenstein being the most popular, we all know the gist, right? We all know the crack with Frankenstein, just like we all know the crack with Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka being an IP onto himself to the point where we all know him as the chocolatier factory owner.
Kind of nearly transcends whatever version you've seen him in. You just know the story.
But we know his role in the in the literary medium that he is, and that he brings the kids to his chocolate factory. But that's been further expanded upon in the world of media because he has a prequel now. Do you know what I mean? It's almost as if you would have a biopic on Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein. Oh wait, we do. We do have one. Elle Fanning played her in a movie. Same with J.R.R. Tolkien, played by
Nicholas Hoult
in his own biopic. Who's he? He created Lord of the Rings. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's all these little branches casted out from the source being Frankenstein, the original movie itself, the original book itself, I should say. And it's gotten to the point where we have so many different adaptations where, yes, I, Frankenstein, where he's played by Aaron Eckhart, plays Frankenstein the monster, but that's as if he's in a cinematic universe with Kate Beckinsale in Underworld.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not really, the classic Frankenstein story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Similar to, and the most I know with that particular movie is that at the time of his creation, when Frankenstein's monster, being Aaron Eckhart, escaped society, traversed the icy wilderness, pursued by Dr. Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein succumbed to his wounds and died. And so that established, to my knowledge of the IP of Frankenstein, that they don't get along. The monster does not get along with the doctor. And another movie depicting this IP, what is it? Frankenstein or Meet Your Makers or Victor Frankenstein and Igor. The one with James McAvoy playing
Victor Frankenstein.
Victor Frankenstein. And Igor, which I don't know if that's a character in the book or a character in the original movie, but somewhere Igor is a character incorporated in there somewhere. Like, there's a fucking animated Igor movie there.
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that entirely. Yeah.
So, like, is Frankenstein a character in that?
I can't remember. I don't know if I've seen it.
Well, there's a monster in that movie, but it's a female monster.
Right, yeah.
So, that's another one. Apparently, Kenneth Branagh directed a Frankenstein movie.
Yeah, with Robert De Niro.
As the monster, and I'm going to assume Ian Holm or John Hurt played Frankenstein the Doctor.
Okay.
I think
I've not seen it, so I can't speak to it.
And I won't see it. Just like I won't see any other straight-aced, typical, traditional Frankenstein movie, because the one we got from Del Toro fucking killed it to the point where anything else we watch of this IP is just going to be significantly less and decreased in quality.
This is your go-to now. Like, there's no point in watching anything else because you know it won't be as good as this.
No, like, not only this is our go-to, like, Austin Butler playing Elvis is now our go-to movie for watching a movie about Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
The Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth Frankenstein film about Dr. Frankenstein and the monster, which is the play on words everyone is always going to bring up, so we have to bring it up at some point. This is the best adaptation of this IP, period.
Yeah, I think so. And there's something to be said about the fact that this is releasing on Netflix. And I think that releasing it on Netflix is actually going to do a disservice to this movie, because we saw this a week before it released, because we got to see it in the cinema.
We saw this, and then we saw Predator Badlands.
Yeah.
To put it in perspective.
Yeah, we saw this before Predator Badlands, yeah. But watching this on the big screen, and there was something very strange, I don't know about you, something very strange about when that movie opened and the Netflix logo came up. And I was like, this feels weird. This just doesn't feel like it belongs here. And maybe that's because Netflix don't release in the cinema. And
they'll do it more commonly in America, but only for a short period of time, like 2 weeks.
They do it so that they can be nominated for Oscars.
Eligible for Oscar nominations, yeah.
And it's just like, I understand, obviously, they're a streaming site and it all exists online. But, like, just release it in the cinemas. Just do a wide release. They don't not have the money to release it wide in the cinemas. Because I think seeing this on the big screen, it was just something else. It was like, Guillermo del Toro is such an auteur that I want to see him on the big screen. I don't want to see him at home for the first time. I want to see it on the big screen. I want to go out and support his movies any way I can.
There's a fucking moving canvas in his head.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like, there was at no point when watching this movie did I think, I'm watching actors.
Yeah.
I felt as though I was transported back to the 1800s, and they all went back to the 1800s, because the
frost on the fucking artificial beards on the extras, where you can see the frost when they exhale when they're breathing. Literally to that point, it captures the realistic environment that they're in. That yes, this is in the 1800s.
There was no stone left unturned. There was no weak point in any of it. Even like, because when I was watching it, I think it was only just the funeral scene for Victor's mother, and the design of the coffin, the whole set, the house that they lived in,
Very much Del Toro.
the people in all of their funeral attire, like the costume, the makeup, everything. I was
Top
like,
hats, the sticks.
I was like, oh my god, this is just incredible. Like
Yeah.
every single aspect of this has just been meticulously, not recreated, obviously, because it's not. This story didn't happen, but it feels so authentically real. They Del Toro got the best people for the job, and in every single aspect, it's just like I said this to you when the movie ended. I was like, give that man an Oscar, and you're like, which one? I'm like, all of them. Give everything. This movie deserves, I think, every single Oscar. There's
should have given him Isaac. So
Oscar. You're very funny.
I am funny.
But there's no award. I don't think that this won't be at least nominated for.
If it doesn't get nominated, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Now I think Del Toro was able to make this movie. Like, sure, be to God, he had this on his mind for the better part of a decade minimum. He's always wanted to do this, I'm sure. Netflix was the only one that probably would cough up the correct amount of money and then some for his budget.
That's nuts to me. That is actually nuts.
But sure, any other studio wouldn't think that it would make the money back because it doesn't have Robert Downey Jr. in it, and it's not a superhero film.
But there's so many great actors in here that they feel like a draw in themselves. Like you named Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth are our main three. But then also you got Charles Dance, Christoph Waltz, David Bradley.
Yeah, that and that other guy.
I know him from like an episode of Sherlock. Couldn't name him, but the other guy, the captain of the ship.
No, I'm talking about fucking. That's Lars Mikkelsen. How could you forget Lars Mikkelsen?
Oh yeah. I knew him.
Mads
Mads
Mikkelsen's
brothers.
brother.
Yeah, I knew.
Fucking Admiral Thrawn.
That's Oh, how did I forget him?
How did you forget
I don't
him?
know. I don't know how I forgot him.
He fucking stood out. Wasn't Ralph Ineson in this movie?
Ralph Ineson was underutilized, only in one scene. Now, obviously, the character he's playing was only in one scene. But
Ralph Ineson could be in one scene, and all he has to do is say one word, and he steals the scene.
Yeah, he fits, because he did in a lot of Robert Eggers films as well.
Yeah,
and he fits into that 1800s kind of style. Just with his voice and his presence.
But he is definitely overshadowed immensely because he is just underutilized. But yeah, that other guy, Victor Frankenstein's brother, who good on him.
Couldn't name him. What else is he
couldn't
in?
fucking tell you who that is.
Well, he's there also.
Clean shaven, baby face, curly haired. He looks German. He's probably not German.
He looks like Alfie Allen. Theon from Game of Thrones.
Except his face is very much polished to the point where he himself looks artificial.
Yeah.
I don't know why, he just does. Everyone else looks like gritty and disheveled as if you would be in the 1800s. That guy looks like he came from today.
Yeah, prim and proper.
Exactly.
Do you know it was Andrew Garfield who was originally supposed to be the monster?
Yep.
How crazy would that have been? Because I remember when they cast Jacob Elordi, and I wasn't all for it. I was like, oh yeah, get the most attractive guy. Like, he's so popular for Euphoria, and he's tall, dark, and handsome. Oh yeah, get this guy to play the monster. How is anyone gonna believe that? And I completely walked back on my opinion, because I think that the fact that he is beautiful, and even as the monster, he is a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Beneath the scars and the dead skin and the long hair, everything like that, and it's Elizabeth that sees the beauty behind the monster. It's like it works so perfectly to the story that I was like, how was I so stupid that of course you have to cast a beautiful man to play this monster.
Yeah, well, I think that's just a given. Like, I'd be curious to know how attractive Aaron Taylor Johnson will be when he's playing a werewolf.
Yeah, but the story of the werewolf isn't about the beauty, the hidden beauty of a man.
Okay, you said hidden beauty. Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein's monster. His beauty ain't fucking hidden.
I mean, it's hidden as best it can under all the prosthetics and makeup.
The man is still as attractive as Deck from fucking Predator Badlands.
Jesus, you've got a real...
No, man.
You've got a love for Deck.
No, but you acknowledge Deck is not a traditional looking Predator.
No.
They...
You got to get off Predator, man. You love Predator.
I fucking love that movie. But I'm just making an observation. All right? Look at the Predator from the original movie. Compare him to Deck. Fuck that. Look at the Predator from Prey. Compare him to Deck. One of them's not traditional and is way more attractive for on-screen presence. Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein's monster commands half the movie on his own. That him being an attractive ugly monster, it was done purposely. I think that's just the gimmick of the Hollywood. Because let's take Pan's Labyrinth, right?
Labyrinth, yeah.
Labyrinth, all right. The goat fawn man, Doug Jones, I think, played him. That's a horrid beast, horrid looking, disgusting, feral beast. Often mischievous and evil at times, even though it's revealed. And yeah, did you see Pan's Labyrinth?
I did, yeah, but years ago. I need to see it again.
Well, that creature design, the creature of the Del Toro movie, not attractive, and yet that wasn't captured here with Elordi's monster. Attractive. Even Doug Jones came across as attractive as the fish man. But sure, he had to be, because that's like, well, she fucks him, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
At least Mia Goth doesn't do that here.
Not, she doesn't, but she definitely would have.
Yeah, she would have.
Yeah,
she would have, definitely.
And
and I don't know where in the literacy IP the bride comes from. Whether the bride was introduced into this IP by the time of Bride of Frankenstein, or if she is in any way referenced or mentioned or created in the book. I don't know. I don't know her initial origins.
Me neither. No, I don't.
But
we know her. We know of her as a character.
Yeah, we know the Bride of Frankenstein literally as that, the Bride of Frankenstein. Her name is called the Bride in Creature Commandos. We're getting the Bride movie
by Maggie Gyllenhaal, yeah,
in February, which is about the Bride of Frankenstein with Frankenstein's monster, played by both handsome people and definitely looking in their appearance more ape-like and Neanderthal looking.
Yeah, he's got the big forehead in that. Like, it's the more traditional kind of universal style of Frankenstein. The only thing that he doesn't have is the green skin. Yeah,
but so does she. She has like a bit of a forward head.
Yeah,
but that's not a traditional Frankenstein movie. It's the IP of Frankenstein, but a take as if it's Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah,
it's almost as if we get a Dracula movie, except rather than the traditional story of what we know of Dracula, Bram Stoker or Nosferatu, do away with that story. Dracula is the Don of the fucking mob. He's a mob boss.
We had Dracula's daughter. We had Abigail there not too long ago.
Yeah, that's an option. That's a take.
Yeah,
So like that's just like taking an IP but doing your own take on it. It's like Del Toro doing his own take on the IP Haunted Mansion. But that's not going to be the traditional story of Haunted Mansion that me and you know it, whether it be the one that came out in 2020 whatever year and the Eddie Murphy one.
Yeah,
it would be his own take. It's almost as if he already did it with Crimson Peak.
He's just reinterpreting these things.
Yeah, reinterpreting. That's the good key word right there.
So what do you think of then? Let's go through some of the characters. What do you think of Mia Goth, the bride, as it were?
Yeah, she definitely is the fill-in for that character. As the female lead and potential love interest, I felt like she stood on her own independently, and even though there was some attraction hinted with her and Dr. Frankenstein, she distasted him and despised him in the end, and obviously favoured the beauty and potential love of the monster. I don't want to say she was serviceable, because I thought she was a little bit more than serviceable. You could say not almost anyone, but there are a few other options that you could have casted and they would have done a good job. Once upon a time, this could have been played by, well, you could just literally name any actress, but an actress you could have casted in this movie that would have done a job as fine as Mia Goth did is another actress who did work with Del Toro in, I don't know, Diagon Alley, whatever the fuck that Bradley Cooper movie.
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah.
Rooney Mara.
Rooney Mara.
Do you know Rooney?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, she so that's just an option that.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Mia Goth fan.
Do tell why.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't vibe with her.
Fuck, man.
But
Millie Bobby Brown, Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham. I see a bit of a consistency with some performers you don't like, but
hold on a minute now.
Yeah,
you're going off on a tangent there.
I know. I just did that purposely.
Yeah, because you name people that I do like.
You said, you don't like Millie Bobby Brown.
I agree, yeah.
But
I like Ryan Reynolds.
Do you?
Yeah.
You keep complaining that he plays the same character.
Yeah, he does, but I still like him.
All right, okay.
Dwayne Johnson plays the same characters. I don't particularly like him. Who else did you name there?
I didn't get to Kevin Hart yet.
I've never complained about Kevin Hart.
Have you not? Oh,
no.
Right.
You're just deciding.
Jared Leto, you fucking despise.
Yeah, he's a bad actor. He's just a bad actor.
He's not a bad actor.
He is a bad actor.
He's not.
Name one good role that he's in other than Dallas Buyers Club.
The fucking heroin movie.
No.
No what?
Don't like that movie.
Just because you don't like that movie doesn't...
Requiem for a Dream, yeah.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Okay, yeah, great. So he's done 2 good movies in his career. Fair play to him. One in the 90s and one in the 2010s. And yet somehow still he's getting franchises and all sorts. But sorry, no, we'll move on. I was going to say, I don't really vibe with Mia Goth, as in... I see Mia Goth is in a movie. She's not a draw for me. I'm not like, oh, I need to see that, or she's really good, or anything like that.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but what were you introduced?
Pearl.
Okay.
Or was it Pearl? Was that the first one? I think it was X. X was the first one.
Really?
In that trilogy, yeah.
Is it? So is that it? Is it literally the...
No, I've seen her in that. I've seen her in High Life. I've seen her in A Cure for Wellness. There's a couple of...
Do you remember her in those?
Yeah. And I just thought she just kind of plays this, like, feels like a Victorian child, kind of like an airy fairy kind of person that just seems like, oh, she's like ethereal almost. And I don't think that...
I see what you're coming from. I do, and I understand. I can agree to the point where I hope that streak is broken by 2027 when we see her in Starkiller. No. Starfighter.
Oh, she's in a Star Wars movie. Yeah, I hope she breaks out of that, absolutely.
But it's funny enough that Mikey Madison was supposed to play that role. So it goes to show what type of character they're looking to cast. Because gotta believe that she's going to be somewhat charismatic and screen commanding. So Mia Goth must have...
She has to have a bit of gusto behind her or something. Now, I say all that, right? But I feel as though she's perfectly cast within this Frankenstein movie. Like
because everything you've described of her, of which you distaste of Mia Goth...
I wouldn't say I distaste it.
I'm just joshing you. But back to my point. It reworks itself into this movie.
In her favour, yeah.
Exactly as that. And it works.
I think it really does. And it took me a moment to remember that she doesn't just play Elizabeth. She plays Victor's mother as well.
Sorry, what?
You didn't know this?
No, I didn't know this.
Victor's mother is played by Mia Goth, which I find to be so interesting, that the infatuation that Victor had for his mother, he loved his mother. It was an unconditional love. He absolutely loved her. And then the one woman that he actually loves in his actual life is played by the same actress, Mia Goth. And because they remind her of each other. And then Mia Goth also, with Elizabeth cares for and loves the monster.
Yeah.
And she sees herself as a mother figure, but the monster, sees her as a bride. the same way that Victor saw Mia Goth in his mother, and as a potential love interest. I just think that it was very, very clever for Guillermo del Toro to cast Mia Goth in both roles, because she can function as those both things, a mother and a lover, to both Victor and to Victor's monster.
Man, you're playing 3D chess here.
I'm not playing 3D chess. Guillermo del Toro is playing 3D chess, and I'm the one watching it going, I like this. I like what you're doing right here. I like the moves.
I didn't cop it at all. You
You
didn't blow my brain, but like, talk about
levels.
Talk about making a fucking metaphor as physical as one can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because metaphors are not physical; they're metaphors.
Yeah, they're metaphors.
Metaphors.
But I thought she did a really great job, and I thought as the story progressed, and by the time that she died, and then the monster took... I don't like calling him the monster. The creature. I think Frankenstein's creature is a more appropriate title because he doesn't get a name.
We can call him Frankenstein.
We can call him Victor and Frankenstein. Yeah, we can. Okay, yeah, and then we'll get to the metaphor of Frankenstein's monster at the end. Yeah. So when Frankenstein takes her away, I'm like, oh my god, if we get the bride, if she turns into the bride, I would absolutely love that. I would love to see her come back and hit the monster Frankenstein to treat her in the same way that she treated him, and to show her that compassion, because like there's no guarantee that with her being brought back that it would be the same mind. It could be a completely different vessel within her.
That's the thing. Like it would be a different person altogether. I think we'll see how it's done in The Bride. In Maggie,
it's a different interpretation.
It's a different interpretation, but I think it'll play on the same themes, because you're making me realize or remind myself that the creation to life of Frankenstein and the bride. I say Frankenstein, the monster. You know, the monster Frankenstein is his own being.
Yeah, because he's made up. He's the sum of all these different parts.
Yes,
he is not Jacob Elordi come back to life. Whoever that character was, whoever had that face.
No,
it's not him. It's an amalgamation of all these parts that have come into being.
Whereas,
because he doesn't ever say that he has memories or anything like that, does he?
He says something like that, but it's all like they're like there are multiple ones.
They're jumbled memories,
to the point where, not that they would conflict, but they do. And he knows that they're not all his. They're not. None of them are his. But he is his own being. He's his own life form. He's White Vision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's the sum of all these parts, but none of them at the same time.
Whereas Mia Goth's character, or the bride character,
the potential bride,
the bride character, she is her own being as well. Similar effect to Emma Stone's character in Poor Things. Now the key difference with Poor Things is that the same body but different brain, but the brain came from the body, hence the
that's
child.
The closest as you're going to get to it, I think, with Bella Baxter.
So to make a comparison, so the bride is closer to herself than the monster Frankenstein is closer to his own self. It's like you, David, for example. No, not you, someone else. A random person born and raised and lived to a certain life, right? And dies, whatever, doesn't matter, right? Redo their life. They're born again, different decade or century. Let's say.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, you're the sum of all your experiences and memories, and
throw them into a different country.
Yeah,
and see if they
are the same person by the end of it. Yeah,
or if they are nearly a completely different person altogether. And that's how I would describe the bride.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right there.
I think I'm
everyone,
right as well.
Everyone is the sum of their experiences and their memories and stuff like that. So you just jolt her body back to life, and that's the beginning point.
Yeah,
that's the beginning point for that body and that person. She's not the sum of these things.
Poor Things is a Bride of Frankenstein
in a way,
in a way, her own right. Like that's another IP. Like, Jesus, it's a very popular IP, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
like, if you really think about it, you could make a fairly solid list of Frankenstein based movies, and they'd be playing catch up to a lot of Dracula based movies. And the only way Dracula based movies would outmatch them by quantity sake is you throw in every movie that has vampires in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, know what I meant?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
What about then, who we move on to next?
Christoph
Waltz.
What a guy.
What a guy who really makes an impact on the story, but only there for half of it.
He plays a role that we are all a little too familiar with. Now, how would I describe it? He doesn't turn bad and like steal the results, the works from the doctor who we're supposed to root for. He had his own agenda, but boy fucking God was he a patient man, and was he so patient to the point where, to his death day, that's when he started to become a little unhinged, but not by much.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. You're right. He fully funds this experiment, this dream of Victor's, and you're right. He doesn't hurry him or anything like that. He just basically lays it facts like the war is coming to an end, and my money will also, because he runs an ammunition factory, and obviously if there's no war, he's not going to have the money to fund him, because he's given him a blank check, basically. You know, whatever you need, I'll get it. Because for him, as we find out later, he wants to put his brain in the body. He thinks that this creature that they've created, he can implant his own mind in the body and he can live forever that way.
Something I'm sure he was okay to put on the back burner from telling him until closer to the time.
But I mean, it's either he's patient or he dies.
Yeah.
He has no other choice. He just has to wait.
He never argued with Victor.
No.
He never challenged him. He gave him everything he wanted, to the point where on the day he did die, Victor was a little bit of a prick.
He would you say he intimidated him? Because there is that whole scene in where he's in the toilet and he's telling him, you know, you're gonna have to hurry up because the war's coming to an end, and he makes Victor flush the toilet. He kind of shows him again, like, just so you remember who's in charge here, who's funding you.
Well, when you're dealing with a bitch like Victor, come on.
You gotta.
Well, he is the man with the money, right? He's the
I
producer.
suppose Victor was also getting quite distracted with Elizabeth, so he wasn't putting his full focus into this experiment.
Like, Victor's a very ungrateful bastard. Like, he can come across as ungrateful, and we'll get to him later, but Christoph Waltz, like, a bright candle that burns just as fast in terms of his screen presence. You know, I don't even know what movie he's led where he is the billing name. He's always getting the "and" in the credits. Yeah, unless he's like in Django or something. But
even in Django, he's not the lead character. I don't think I could name a Christoph Waltz movie where he's the lead character, but I think he does so well in the supporting roles.
He's like Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Throw those two bastards in. And, you know, throw Javier Bardem in there as well.
You know who I'd throw in there as well? Ben Mendelsohn.
And Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, all great supporting characters.
Probably 4 out of the 5 who did play James Bond villains.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that fun? Christoph Waltz fits right into this movie very well. And, you know, I didn't think ahead, what's his role going to be? Like, it seemed to be pretty obvious, the results of what his was going to be, and I appreciated the significance of it when it came to be.
I don't know, I didn't question it. I kind of...
No, I didn't question as in, I wonder what your fate's going to be. I wonder what your role's going to be when the creation of this monster comes to life, when we get into the thick of the movie. The reason why we're all here, which, remind me, if you can, about that aspect, that particular subject. But not even. He doesn't get to live to see the results he paid for. He doesn't get to see the results of what he was so hopeful and optimistic of.
Yeah, and you know what? His death scene is...
tragic.
It's tragic, it is. And in the moment where he dies, because he obviously falls, like, I don't know about you, but once they entered into the laboratory and we saw that big drain, essentially, the huge fall that... it was like someone's going there.
It'd be shame not to.
Yeah. So when he falls and lands and Victor comes down the stairs and like, Herr Waltz, like, to check, you know, if he's okay, and he picks him up and his whole back of his skull and brain are just completely demolished. Like, his body is perfection as long as he's not moved.
Yeah.
And that immediately destroys any possibility that if Victor even for a moment was like, okay, I will put his brain in this monster's body. No, there's no brain left. He's completely gone. There's no saving him. It's completely gone. So that's not even a question for Victor to have of his own, like, oh, should I do this? I don't think that he would have, but it eliminates that option or that possibility completely.
But Victor never even considered engaging a decent conversation with Christoph Waltz's character, because when Waltz's character reveals to him that he's ill and he's dying, and he's dying, what did he have?
Rapidly, syphilis.
Syphilis. Can that kill you today?
No, I don't think. Well, I don't. Yeah, probably if it left untreated. I don't know. I'm not really a big. I'm not into my diagnoses for sexually transmitted diseases.
Oh, is it sexually transmitted?
Yeah, he says a joke about a night with Venus, a lifetime with Mercury, as in like.
Oh
Venus,
yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
yeah, he was wearing a wig, and I felt bad for him for when he was outed just by Victor walking in and seeing him, and then there's no hiding it anymore.
Held together well, because I don't remember having watched that ever thinking that he was sick or anything like that. I didn't think that he was in a bad way.
No, I don't recall ever thinking that either. I just knew he must have had some sort of ulterior motive in the end.
The only thing that they alluded to was when he is initially introduced. They do as he's handing Victor the letter, they do like they put a little bit of focus on his cane. But that's about it. But just to say that there's something more to his cane.
Yeah, but you're introducing a character who gets the end in the credits. You have to start with his feet.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when he walks in, like it's very clear this guy has money, because he's got a gold trim on his shoes.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we let the audience know this guy's got money without him like pulling out a couple of 50s and fanning himself as he gets warm in there?
When was the last time we seen that in a movie?
I don't know. We'll probably see it in the Monopoly movie. We'll see Mr. Monopoly, capitalist pig.
Yeah, I felt bad for Christoph Waltz's character in the end, and when Victor was never even toying with a possible solution, even like all he said was, we'll talk about this later.
Yeah,
because he can't waste the storm, the perfect storm, the lightning is about to strike. Yeah, his device to electrocute the monster, the body, and I can understand Victor's impatience, but you gotta look at Christoph Waltz's character's patience, because he's fucking running out, and it got to the point where Victor was just being rude and not listening to him. So the two men are pouting, and you know the elder sibling picks up the younger sibling's toy and says, "I'm taking this," and he slips, and I appreciated that Victor didn't like stand back and let him fall. Like he actually tried.
He does genuinely
actively try to save him, because Victor is not. He's not a bad guy, because he doesn't see himself as a bad guy, and I think any decent, sound thinking person, their instinct would be to help them.
Well, I mean, Victor is also, don't forget, on the side of life. Like, he's not there to kill anyone. He wants to prolong life and bring people back to life. So he is on the side, like, he doesn't have, even though Christoph Waltz's character is they are at odds in that moment. Yeah. He's not like he's not a definitively evil person who's like, you are standing in the way of my dreams, so I'm going to let you die. Like, he does try and save him.
Oh, but he's completely unfazed the second later, because the lightning is about to strike, and he just proceeds with the actions.
There's nothing he can do. You know, he picks him up and his brain is completely smushed.
But he makes, later down the line, he makes it look like the monster killed the creature.
I mean, Victor is a smart guy. You know, he uses these things to his advantage. Yeah. He can lie and manipulate, and he tries to do it like earlier on in the film as well. Like he does have the hots for Elizabeth.
Yeah, that was a good scene, wasn't it?
I quite liked the relationship between Victor and Elizabeth when he spots her in the market, and he goes and he sneaks into the confession booth and pretends to be a priest, and he tries to be like, oh yeah, like she's like, tell me your sins, and she's like, oh, I've had impure thoughts about my fiance's brother, and he's like, lustful thoughts, no, hatred, and he's like, what? You know, and
he like caught himself as if he was mid cough. It's like
yeah. And like when he slides the door open and she's there staring at him, and like they just wave at each other, and then they go off to lunch, and it felt like even though he does have feelings for her, it felt like a little bit of a friendship. And I was like, I really like this relationship of like two people just getting along. And unfortunately, it is an unrequited love thing. And does Elizabeth love him? I really don't think she does. I think she saw him as a friend, and the things that she said about him to him, she does believe that he is arrogant and he is delusional and he comes across as a prick.
I think her thoughts of him was always consistent. Like she toyed with the idea of what he could be, but as soon as she saw his true intentions by watching how he treated the creature, how he treated Frankenstein, they remain consistent throughout, all the way to when we went back to how Victor was in the present after his injury, after the second half of the film with Frankenstein the monster. She on the day of her wedding is what I'm trying to say. Victor, as if he's on some path to redemption, she still shuts him out and denies him any form of forgiveness or acknowledging his redemption. You know, because I'm sure her acknowledging him would just boost his ego.
Yeah, it's giving him more than he deserves in her eyes. Because she did... I mean, the monster is, in a way, Victor's son. And he willingly... And from her perspective, he willingly murdered his son.
Yeah.
And she can't forgive him for that. I mean, in a man who was so dedicated to restoring life would knowingly and actively kill.
Yeah. Not just that, but like his own creation, like his optimism, his obsession to create life.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with Victor, is that he was so obsessed with. I mean, it's kind of like the Jurassic Park thing as well. Of like,
motherfucker, I was so thinking about this. I was literally thinking about the Ian Malcolm thing where God creates dinosaurs, and is that what you're talking about?
No, I was thinking the whole. You were too busy thinking if we could. You didn't stop to think if we should.
I was thinking about when Ian Malcolm said God creates dinosaurs, then God destroys dinosaurs, God creates man destroys God, man creates dinosaurs, dinosaurs create man. That type of thing. Because Victor...
Woman inherits the earth.
Sorry?
Woman inherits the earth.
That's the one. So, hence the bride at the end, where woman inherits the story.
Yeah.
So,
that's actually good,
Because what happens after Victor Frankenstein? Bride. The bride happens.
Yeah.
And whatever Victor Frankenstein you want to choose, it's still the play on words, because the bride inherits the narrative going forward. And Victor's obsession to create Frankenstein, he creates it, and it's just not enough. It's like you wait your whole life to go to a Paul McCartney concert because you're a huge Beatles fan.
He doesn't play any Beatles songs.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say that you go to it and then you're like, huh. Not to say that it's not what I expected. It's like you still have to live. You still have to proceed with life. And so what Victor was getting was not what he wanted. He just wanted to control what he wanted, and he could not control the controllables. And his obsession of optimism turned to obsession of madness. So would you concur that his obsession in creating the monster, it was a form of madness?
It was. He was obsessed with it because he was denied the love of Elizabeth. And so he then poured himself into creating the monster, and he thought that he could get the love from the monster. He was always trying. When he lost his mother, he lost someone that loved him unconditionally, and he had his father there, but his father didn't love him, not in the way that he loved William. Like him and William.
So that's his name.
Yeah. The character's name was William, alright. But the love that Victor was denied then eventually made him into his own father. Like, you think about the way that, and we didn't even speak about this, Charles Dance, the way that he treats Victor.
Before you get sidetracked, I do need to finish what I was trying to say.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but like, because you said Charles Dance, like, fuck, we're going down another branch here.
Sorry.
I'll just finish this here. Victor's obsession was a form of madness in creating the monster. His obsession in trying to control the monster failed, therefore it turned into a form of its own madness, because he tried to burn the fucking house down. And with it still alive inside.
Yeah.
And when he thought it was done, his path of redemption was on track. Monster turns out to be alive. What does Victor do?
Try to kill it.
he doesn't just try to kill it. The fucker abandons all society, and whatever he has, puts it on his back, rents a snowplow and a couple of dogs, and Homer Simpson's all across the fucking Atlantic on the ice.
It's the obsession, the madness. He has to follow it.
The madness comes back, except it's not madness of optimism; it's madness of destruction.
Yeah.
He has to destroy it. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, yeah, sorry. What I was going off on my tangent was that Victor's lack of love that he received from his father eventually turned him into his own father.
Naturally so,
because
and that's one we should have expected to see coming.
Yeah, we like the way that his father treated him, like with no love, and he just has to recite these medical things, and he kind of nearly like he molds him into. Victor's father molds Victor into another version of himself.
Yeah.
And that's what Victor wanted to do to Frankenstein. That's what he wanted to do to the monster. He wanted to mold him in a way that he was the next step in the Frankenstein lineage.
He wanted him to be a more evolved life form.
Yeah. And like he doesn't show him any compassion. The same way his father didn't show him any compassion.
Yeah.
Like we get the initial scene where Frankenstein comes to the bedroom and he sees that he's alive and he says the name Victor.
Yeah.
And it's literally the next scene. It's a couple of days, maybe weeks later, and he hasn't said any other words, and he's curious. Like the monster is curious. He's looking at himself in the mirror, and Victor's already pissed off at it. He's like, yeah, that's you. Like, come on, like grow up. Like he's straight away, he's like, come on, say anything other than Victor. Please say anything other. And or even he takes him down. Like the initial scene, they're introduced, and then straight away he brings him down and locks him up, and he treats the monster like an it and not a person.
Yeah.
He immediately treats him like that, but he doesn't show him any kind of love or compassion, always refers to him as an it. And that eventually leads to the monster resenting Victor in the same way that Victor resented his own father.
Yeah.
And it's this perpetual not showing love and care, and not having him, not embracing the son like he should have, that leads to his own demise.
It's the natural way to go, isn't it?
Unfortunately, yeah.
But like it has to go that way. That's storytelling. That's 101.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I love a story that mirrors itself. I love a story that can weave back in on itself and mean different things. And there was something about watching it, and the initial scene where the monster comes up to the bedroom.
Good, because I want to talk about that bit as well.
And the way that he literally Victor mirrors what the monster is doing to show, like, look, yeah, no, we're the same. And he goes and he opens the blinds, and the way the monster recoils from the sun,
yeah,
and the way that Victor says, no, sun, and he says it in such a way that you can take it as two things. He's referring to the sun as we know it, and also to the monster as son.
Yeah.
He's using the same word and it meaning two different things. And
one with U, one with an O.
Exactly, yeah, you know.
I can spell.
But the way that he says, no, you need to embrace the sun, and he lifts his arms up and he embraces it.
Metaphor!
Yeah, metaphor, exactly. And the way that he lifts it and then he turns around and he gives the monster a hug, or he listens to the heart.
Yeah.
And the monster reaches his arms around as if he thinks that he's getting a hug.
But
because he doesn't know any better. But but Victor isn't doing that at all. He's listening for the heart.
Yeah.
And
checking out how strong it is.
Yeah, exactly. And then later on in the movie, as we get to the final scene, after Victor has heard the monster's story and what he's been going through for all this, and he finally does see him as a person. And again, we have Victor embrace him as a son.
Yeah.
And then later on in the film, as in the next scene, when the monster walks away and the sun rises and he's no longer afraid of the sun and he embraces the sun, that these two versions of Frankenstein embrace the sun, one with a U and one with an O. I just love it. I think it's great storytelling and it's great use of metaphors, and it's so good. I love a story that mirrors itself like that.
I mean, I can't beat it, man.
You can't.
Like what movie is out that can challenge this as the best picture of 2025?
Predator Badlands?
No,
Tron
man,
Ares?
don't be ridiculous.
No,
you're insulting me now with Tron Ares.
I'm joking.
Predator Badlands is fun. Tron Ares, you're just insulting me now. Put it this way.
When we saw this at first,
If Sinners wins Best Picture over Frankenstein,
I don't think it will.
it shouldn't.
It's very early in the nominations game. The whole what's going to be nominated, all this kind of stuff. I feel as though Frankenstein will be nominated for a lot, and it's funny because do you remember how you were saying there? I don't know. I think you probably said it in the Predator thing, where you know yourself that some movies are just better than others. Like you can honestly say that Frankenstein is better than Predator, Badlands.
Oh, there had to be something wrong with me if I denied that.
But
Frankenstein is the superior entity.
It is. But I would wager a bet to say, as we do our top 10 of the year, you will probably have Predator, Badlands above Frankenstein.
Yeah, man, it was fun.
Yeah,
because it was fun.
Yeah, so I'm the same way, where I can easily say right now that Sinners is above Frankenstein in my top 10 of the year.
Because you found it more fun and entertaining.
Because of
your
other aspects
experience.
of it. My experience of it. And,
that did not include 4DX.
No, it didn't include 4DX. But I can also easily say that Frankenstein is by far the best movie that I've seen this year. On a technical aspect and in every single department. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I would be surprised if this doesn't get a Best Picture nominee or Best Directing. Like, I think, as I was saying earlier, name a category, and I could see this. I was like, yeah, that 100% could be nominated. Like, effects, costume,
production design,
locations. There's not even location off Oscar, but the editing, the adapted screenplay, directing, best actor, best supporting actor, even best special effects, makeup, like everything, every single thing. I'd be like, yeah, no, this.
You know, Del Toro has won an Oscar for directing.
Yeah, Shape of Water.
Yeah, I think did it win Best Picture? No, it didn't. That was Green Book.
That was Green Book that year. Yeah.
So, would it be fair? Like, yeah, he deserves it. He deserves it.
I think so. Yeah,
he deserves an Oscar for directing.
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, like, you know, Shape of Water is one I've seen once, and while it's one that I appreciate and I go, yeah, it's a good movie, it's not one that I would be like running back to see. Pan's Labyrinth is one that I would be going back to see just because it's been so long, and like I really did enjoy it the first time I watched it. This is one I will go back to. And I think it's like you were saying earlier, it's one that you can point at and definitively go, this is Frankenstein to me. I will watch this version.
Isn't it just while you're on Del Toro, talk about his filmography just for a second. How diverse it is.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
because we pointed out like his typical gothic tragedy that has themes of romance and sorrow and death, violence or no. All right, that's that, right? What about his action-packed, fun blockbuster movies?
The fact that he has done not one, not two, but 3 superhero movies.
Technically, he has, yeah.
Yeah, he's done Hellboy, Hellboy 2, and Blade 2.
Boy, throw Pacific Rim in there.
Pacific Rim in there, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's no genre that I don't think he would do great at. Like it would be so strange to have him just do a traditional straight-up drama. Or even do like a comedy.
No.
Like, those would be strange, but I think he could do them.
Yeah, but that's wasted. A comedy from Del Toro would be wasted.
You do want to see, you want to see a stylized version because he does that so well.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want a comedy from Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's wasted. He did Pinocchio as well.
I didn't see Pinocchio.
That is an interpretation, or maybe it could be classed as original.
Yeah. Is Pinocchio Grimm's fairy tale?
I don't know. I think it's probably fucked up, yeah.
But yeah, no, that's one that I did let go by me. But after watching this, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's moved right up my, watch list.
You know, this movie did have a significant absence of recurring Del Toro actors, being Ron Perlman or
Cate Blanchett.
Cate Blanchett, is she one?
She's in both Nightmare Alley and Pinocchio.
Suppose so. Shit, Christoph Waltz was in Pinocchio. Yeah, he was in Pinocchio.
But I don't mind that. We don't have very many recurring
Doug Jones.
Yeah. I don't mind that we don't have more recurring people, in the hopes that we have some people in this movie that become recurring. Like, I'd love to see Oscar Isaac in something else. I really like watching Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, but like in a different world, Doug Jones would have played Frankenstein if he was being directed by Del Toro.
Oh, if this movie's made 20 years ago, absolutely.
Yeah, and if we wanted Frankenstein to play off the muscular 20 years ago, he could have been played by Ron Perlman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you want to go with the lumbering
Yeah.
size, yeah, absolutely.
But he did bring a recurring actor he has worked with, David Bradley.
Yeah, I suppose we haven't even talked about the monster side of this at all.
Oh no, I'll save him for last. But like, I just want to get into the
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I mean, I just meant that he's part of the Frankenstein
Oh,
monster
sorry.
story.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Yeah, no, we'll get there. I just want what did you make of David Bradley, because he's such a standout as what's his face in Harry Potter.
Filch. Yeah, he's an actor who is so diverse in that he can play some awful human beings,
Vile,
terrible characters
vile specimens of the human
that
race.
you love to hate. In that being Walder Frey in
Yes.
Game of Thrones, and yeah, he I mean, who wasn't scared of him in the Harry Potter movies? When
yeah,
you were a kid?
yeah.
Like you're like, oh, he's like,
Like
he's not a bad guy, but like you're
but like you're a kid watching Harry Potter.
You're afraid of him.
You're going to school. Like, first of all, you'd rather be in the company of Professor Snape than Filch. Mm-hmm. All right? Mm-hmm. And Snape's fucking scary.
yeah. But then you have him play characters like this, or have him playing the Doctor in Doctor Who. Like
Was he a doctor?
when he played.
You always have to bring Doctor Who back in.
I don't always have to do it, but when it's relevant, he plays the first Doctor.
Oh,
So the first Doctor, played by William Hartnell, obviously died years ago. So David Bradley, whenever they do a story with the first Doctor, it's David Bradley that plays him.
so it's this. Okay,
It's a recast,
gotcha.
and he's great at it, and he's a nice guy at it.
Well, he voiced Geppetto in Pinocchio.
Oh, there you go. There's another recurring.
He's a nice character. He's a good character, and I'm thinking, really, you're getting David Bradley to voice the sweet old kind man, and he's 2 for 2 now with Del Toro as a sweet kind old man. But there's a bit of unconditional love there with the blind man towards the monster because he's blind, so he doesn't
He doesn't
judge.
know. Yeah,
He doesn't judge.
which is what we should all do. We shouldn't be judging people on,
No.
the color of the skin or the scars on their face or anything like that.
Yeah, don't be blowing people up, that type of stuff. Willie, what do you make of Vicky's brother?
I mean, he's there's not much to him. Like, he's there to serve the purpose of, I suppose he is in a way the Igor. Like, he creates the lab for Victor, but he's also
Shit, yeah.
like I don't even know. Like, he's probably not that character. He just fits that role, and he's also the vehicle for Mia Goth's Elizabeth to be introduced.
But-
and we do have certain scenes where Victor is saying, stay here. I can only trust you to get this part of the laboratory for me, and that allows for Victor to spend time with Elizabeth without William there.
Yeah.
So he's not there much.
I think in the IP there is a character, William, who is the brother of Dr. Frankenstein. Like, he's mentioned in the James McAvoy one. Mentioned, but never played by an actor. But yeah, he, like the rest of them, dies. Like everyone dies. Bar the sea captain.
Yeah.
Lars Mikkelsen, the character who we are first introduced, and we think, Jesus, I wonder what standout death you're gonna get, because he's such an abuser of his crew, working them to death in the middle of the ice with their ship stranded,
With no hope of going home. It's
No.
like, as soon as we get out of this water, or as soon as we get out of this ice, we're continuing.
Yeah.
We're not going home. We're continuing.
Like, even he had a change of heart at the end where he turned a bit soft. But I really liked Lars Mikkelsen's character here. I really liked him. Like, he's on set with the two leads.
And it's not very much we get of him. We get, like, obviously the prelude. We get a good bit of him, and we get a small couple of scenes throughout as we shift perspective of the story.
Yeah.
Or like we take a little break, and he says, "No, I'm interested to continue the story. I want to hear all of it." So there's very few scenes we get of him.
Yeah.
But he is standout when we do get him.
Yeah, I just like him. Maybe he's off to Transylvania to collect Dracula. In the hands of a greedy producer, they would make this into a cinematic universe.
Yeah. I suppose what's the other movie that you saw I didn't see? The Voyage of the...
Don Treader? No, Demeter. That was Narnia, I would think.
Yeah, I was thinking it too. The Voyage of the Demeter. You could see him being the captain of that ship.
Yeah.
At a later stage, but
the Demeter is a ship that brings Dracula from what fucking place he's from to Transylvania to the mainland of England.
Mm-hmm.
That ship is a real compartment in the IP of Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
A fan of all these IPs would force that ship to be the ship that's on its way to collect Dracula.
Yeah.
And something's going on in Egypt somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Shit like that. And the Wolfman's British, so you can just... You know what I mean? So they tried it anyway. They tried to make a cinematic universe off all these monsters, didn't they?
I mean, which time? Because there was a few times.
Well, with Tom Cruise and The Mummy.
Tom Cruise and The Mummy.
That's
you also have the Dracula Untold.
Yeah, which had Charles Dance in
Which
it.
also had Charles Dance, yeah.
Yes, very, very nice. Throw Dracula Untold in with Frankenstein. Throw those in the world of Underworld, and you have Dracula there, and like you're already building something. It's funny.
Oh, never mind.
What?
Actually, no, I think Charles Dance is in the Underworld movies.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Jesus, Charles Dance in all of these.
Yeah, man.
But then I also think that they did kind of try and do it with Van Helsing. I could have very much seen a Van Helsing too. If that movie had done well, you could have seen a continuation of that cinematic universe, as it were.
Yeah, sure. The director of that was the director of The Mummy. Oh, another IP thrown in this.
Where's Charles Dance in that? Come on, find him. He's there somewhere.
Somewhere. But yeah. So like they're trying to do the Mummy movie that's coming in next year, and I think there's bad test screenings for it, so they're gonna rename it and call it The Resurrected, because
And then
it's not a traditional Mummy movie,
because then we've got Brendan Fraser, who's apparently coming back to
the
do
Mummy
Mummy 4,
because that's why we actually want to see a movie that incorporates the Mummy, especially if the one lead Cronen's doing is turning out to be very bad. Because I was so optimistic for that. I was so delighted to see a horror take on the Mummy.
And he did so well with Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, and that's what I was excited at. But I think there's comparisons that he's just making a Mummy movie, but it's Evil Dead Rise.
Right. Okay.
That's not the Mummy. The Mummy IP.
Yeah, it's not fitting within the franchise IP. Yeah.
So that's a shame. So it's just going to be a generically titled thing that was one thing, and now it's not, because they're making something out of the Mummy IP. We're getting on a tangent here.
Yeah, let's go back to Frankenstein.
Who else did we talk? Charles Dance. What a man.
Yeah, I mean, he serves exactly the purpose that we need him to, and he's pretty much in and out within the first 15-20 minutes.
Pretty much. I think Oscar Isaac was the standout.
Yeah, I mean, he carries the movie throughout.
And I think he delivered the best performance.
I think so too.
And I think if anyone deserves an Oscar for him, it's him.
It's Oscar.
Oscar deserves an Oscar.
Yeah.
Isaac deserves an Oscar.
Yeah, from the first scene, like from the scene at the medical board when he's discussing the life and death and how it's just the throw of a ball, and when he brings the corpse back to life for the small demonstration, it's just I could watch an 8-hour lecture from him on that subject.
Fucking Moon Knight's got it.
Yeah,
isn't that great? The fact I probably reminded you that you played Moon Knight.
Yeah, when I thought there earlier, when I said I love watching Oscar Isaac, I did think of him. I immediately do think of him as Poe in Star Wars. I don't think of him as Moon Knight, because that's the character who I just like. When are we going to see him again? Yeah,
because I'm sure at this point you'd forget that he was in Dune.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And these are just these are just the large budget cinematic blockbuster movies that have all the big fancy names. Like, never mind the smaller stuff that I guess the first thing I first saw him in was maybe the Ex Machina.
Ex Machina, yeah. See, he doesn't look like himself in that either.
No.
He's also in Inside Llewyn Davis.
I've never seen that.
There was one there, was it like The Gambler or something like that he was in? I didn't see that, but
can't remember that.
It was like a card one. I don't know exactly what it was. And then there was another one where he was like married to Jessica Chastain, and I think it was like nearly like 2 movies almost.
No, it was a 5-part miniseries, limited series, and that's called Scenes of a Marriage. I did watch that.
Yeah.
He stole the show.
He did in that as well.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Or I'm just being sexist. But like because he has a breakdown scene of her leaving him, and then she has a breakdown scene of him refusing her.
Right. Okay.
And he gets to play both ends of that emotional spectrum. He plays it so well. So when are we going to appreciate Oscar Isaac? He's one of your
underappreciated actors. Yeah.
So,
well, I appreciate him all the time.
It's interesting. We were watching this movie knowing who he is, the character he's playing, and we are introduced to him. The first thing we see of him is him lying in the middle of the snow, and he's got a prosthetic leg, and we're thinking, what the fuck are you, a man of your caliber, character now, not actor, a character, to be found in a situation like this?
Yeah, all by yourself, like
in the middle of nowhere,
essentially disabled.
No resources to survive. And then that leads us into how, because it's a long ass journey to see how.
Yeah.
But it was a fucking fantastic action sequence when they rescued Victor, brought him on board the ship, and then all the crewmen see in the distance the silhouette of the monster. They hear the roars of him. And then they hear silhouette, and this hulking monster, the hooded creature, face concealed, obtaining all these gunfire and shot. I appreciated the amount of bullets he would have taken on his body, and that would just further destroy his corpse of a body. But not to get sidetracked from the action sequence, that I just want to articulate why I love so much. I don't know how I feel about the monster being able to rejuvenate, to heal, as if he's Deadpool. He can take on as much firepower and sustain so much injuries as he can, to the point that it will slow him down. Like, shoot him in the hand with a shotgun off that time, it will put a hole in his palm that won't heal.
Yeah, see, I think I don't have a problem with it, because we do, like, the story of Frankenstein is that he is an immortal, lonely creature that can't die. And that's why he wants a partner. That's why he wants a friend.
Yeah.
And so the whole rejuvenation part of it doesn't bother me, because it is also, like, he is the supernatural element of this otherwise not supernatural world. Like, he's the only one in it. So the fact that he rejuvenates, that doesn't bother me in the slightest, because I consider that with Frankenstein.
He's an unkillable machine. He just keeps going. Like the crewmen, like they have the first row fire guns. These are single firing pistols, and it doesn't stop them. The next row come in, and while they reload, and like it's all together now, fire, and it doesn't slow them down. And everyone retreats up to the top of the ship, and however he found his way up there, he just starts taking them out again, because they're all in his way of what he wants. Victor, he wants to kill him.
And it's because obviously we do get that's the prelude, and then we get the flashback, and we go back to see the journey of how we got to that.
Yeah.
To see in the initial part where Frankenstein gets up on the boat and he's like, bring me Victor, I want him, and he's speaking very clearly. And then when we're introduced to him, and over the course of their time together, he doesn't speak a word.
No.
You're like, okay, how does he get to be that point? Not only is it interesting to see Victor in the snow by himself, and like, okay, how did you get to be like this? How does the monster get to be to that level of competency? To be
in a more advantageous position.
Yeah, exactly. When we're first introduced to him, he's locked in the basement.
Yeah.
In chains.
Afraid
of Victor.
How the tables have turned. But what did you make of because we're all here to see this movie, right? And from what I can remember with the first trailer, it was pretty much the first half of what Victor was doing, the build-up of creating life, the creation of the monster itself. And then the trailer ends with a tease of it. And then we had a second trailer which was all focused on the monster side of it. And so like this movie is two halves, because there's a movie without the monster, before the monster I should say, and then there's the half with the monster. And that's not necessarily with the monster being that now it's the monster story, because Victor has a significant role to play. But with the idea we are going to see a Frankenstein movie, we're here to expect something. I was curious to see how they would execute the scene where they revealed his face in the unwrappings, which I thought was beautiful. It was innocent, and then also how he just wakes up, because he doesn't wake up after being electrocuted.
No, it's the next morning.
Yeah.
He just is there.
And I was waiting for how is Victor going to stumble upon him, but no, the fucking thing standing there staring over him, like one of those things from Alien or something like that, and it was great because now we've entered the fold. We've crossed the realm, and we're now entering the phase of the movie of why we're all really here.
Yeah, we want to see the monster.
We
We're
want
here
to see
Frankenstein.
Yes,
yeah.
that's it.
Because that's the thing is that people do when you say Frankenstein, you think of the monster.
Yes. Is it time to talk about the play on words now? Or?
No, I think let's talk about Jacob Elordi and his whole thing, and then we can talk about the play on words.
So Victor's getting sick of him, and he makes the executive decision to burn the fucking house down and all his life's work, everything he dedicated his entire life. He even out of spite, not out of curiosity, or maybe it was curiosity, but not in optimism. It was spite, because as if he expected the answer. Just say one word. Just say something else that's not Victor, and the monster couldn't say anything else but Victor. And so he goes, walk away. That's what I thought. But then the monster whispers to himself, Elizabeth. And Victor heard that. He heard it, right? Because the monster had his little scene with Elizabeth, and she told him his name, her name.
It's almost like showing him a little bit of kindness, compassion. Showed his true potential. She's down there, and she's like, "No, the noise comes from my throat."
Yes,
and like actually speaks to him like a person, and like teaches him, and he's able to learn. He's not just like he should know the answer. He has to learn it.
I think when Victor heard that, he was afraid.
He was afraid. He saw the potential. He was like, "Oh, okay.
What have I done? What have I created?" You know, the tagline: "Only monsters play God." And so he must destroy it before it destroys him. Philosophy. And throughout the entire time that Victor is dousing the household full of gasoline and petroleum, and you know, the monster, he's strong enough, but he's still restrained there in the basement. Like,
he still thinks of himself as
a baby,
as the way that Victor has treated him.
He doesn't know his own strength.
Yeah, it's as soon as he knows what he can do, he breaks free, and
but all throughout the time, even when the house is now lit of flames, all he's shouting is Victor, as for a cry of help. But that cry of help turns anger. You know, because his cries of help are demands and shouts of help, to the point where we know that when he survives this, because we know he's going to survive it, that anger is going to remain.
Yeah,
and Victor walks out of the house, and you can hear him through one of the air vents, through one of the windows. He hears him calling his name, and Victor, in a sudden instant change of heart, he actually does try to go back in. What did you think Victor's thoughts were on that?
I think he did. Yeah, he in that moment he does see him as more that he sees him as a person. Because he can hear him, and though
he hears the fear in him.
He hears the fear in him, yeah, and that word that he's come to hate the word Victor, because it's the only word that he can say. Like, he does hear the fear in that voice, and something that Elizabeth says is like, maybe that's the only word he can say, because that's the word that means the world to him. Yeah,
means the most, and maybe that's what made Victor realize that. And so he does go try to run back in, but whether he would have sustained a little feckle from a little when you're lit a fire, what are those little bits of firelight bits that just, you know,
I don't know what you would call them, just like speckles of
fly. So whether it would have been that or the explosion that cost him his fucking leg and threw him
50 feet away.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to go back in.
No, there was no chance.
No, not a chance.
It's too late. As soon as he let it, it was too late.
But fuck, boy, he did lose that leg. He lost it, and it was still attached.
Yeah, and that's his punishment. That's, you know, he has to sustain some. He can't just get away with it scot free. He can't just wipe his hands of it. He has to have some kind of punishment for what he's done here,
Yeah.
and something that he will carry with him the rest of his life.
Yeah, the fucking prosthetic leg.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's good.
We see him later on in the bed, and he gets up and he's putting the thing on, and William won't look at him because William now sees him as a monster.
Yeah. It's not viewed as the same, hence why he seems to be more decreased, looked down upon. And so because Victor has to look up at the perfect people just by the sheer fact that they have all their limbs, Victor seeks forgiveness. He seeks approval. He seeks redemption. And he's he's modest. He'll still be the smartest man in the room, but he'll be modest, and he'll say, "Oh no, don't mind me. Oh poor me." You know, poor.
He's looking for the sympathy instead. Yeah.
But he's still the same guy. You know, there's no change in him. He's
just hiding it behind.
Because he's a monster. But we're slapped into the Jacob Elordi part of the film where we get to see his side. And Nick, you know, I will say it's not cringe, but I don't know what to call it when Lars Mikkelsen, the captain, was going to greet his crew and say, "Don't worry, they'll do what I say." He opens the sliding doors, and Jacob Elordi is like that 8-foot Chinese karate kid from Rush Hour 3, where he's standing behind the door, and like the banister of the door, the lintel, that's where Jacob Elordi's like fucking chest is. He's that fucking tall.
Yeah.
You know, he has to crouch down and to get in. And he says, "My master has told you his story. Now I shall tell you mine." A little bit play on words to talk to the audience. You know, Victor was there to do one job, and why does he give a fuck that he tells this nobody random or captain who he would have killed in a heartbeat just to get to Victor? Why does he have to tell his story? Maybe he just needed an audience to vent.
Well, don't forget, Victor hadn't heard his story at all. Like, the only interactions that they had up to that point after the explosion was Frankenstein coming to Victor to ask for
a bride,
a partner, and then
one more interaction in the ice.
Yeah, and that was it. And then they were like chasing after each other. That was it.
I do want to talk about those two scenes before we talk about Frankenstein. I just feel like even though after the journey we see the monster go through, I thought his vocabulary and his ability to articulate fully whole completed sentences with Victor was a little bit too far of a jump, and I thought Victor accepting that was too easy for me to accept. When Victor last saw him, the monster, all he could say was Victor. He was a shouting creature, a crying animal, and now all of a sudden he's talking to him as if
they're equals. Yeah.
While
I do agree with you on your second point, I don't agree with you on your first point. I think that the time that he spent, like, we don't know the exact timeline on it.
No.
We know that he spent so much time with that family.
Yeah.
First of all, just listening and learning.
Yes.
And hearing the stories. And as David Bradley's character was teaching the little girl how to read and how to speak, and that's where the monster was learning. And then he also spent the winter with them as they went out, as the family went out, and it was just David Bradley and Frankenstein there in the house.
Yeah.
They spent so much time together and reading and learning to speak and having the love and the compassion there and the friendship. It gave Frankenstein more of a motive to do it, as opposed to when Victor was just saying, just say any word, like, and he's abusing him and all this kind of stuff. Why would he learn?
Yeah.
You know, whereas when he's in an environment that is kind and willing to teach him, not that he puts more of an effort in, but it's more conducive to him learning. So I think that the time he spent with those characters and in that environment, I perfectly accepted that he was like this, especially when you're reading. When you're reading, you can pick up so much stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is a me thing, but I learn by doing, and doing means speaking.
Yeah, well, he's doing both.
Okay.
But I do agree that Victor just accepted that. This essentially what you said there, that this animal that he was treating him like an animal. He was an it as opposed to a they.
Yeah.
Now here he is having a full conversation, and he has wants and needs, and he's asking these things of me. It was too quickly to just go, all right, okay, yeah, I guess we'll continue on this conversation.
Yeah, like he's talking to him as if he's been his lifelong nemesis. It's like how no one questioned, all of a sudden Hulk can speak.
Yeah. It's just too quick.
It's too quick of a jump, and I think if there's any single criticism that I'll stand by, it's that. I appreciate and I absolutely love the philosophy, the ideology, the simple nature of watching the smart genius and that of Victor Frankenstein, the doctor, speaking to the monster that he created as if he was his own doctor to begin with, you know? Like his equal. It's fascinating. It's just that he accepted it too quickly, and he labeled him and titled him as foul beast, monster, you know? But the reason I think the monster was able to articulate and speak and be more of a speaking person is because, for the most part, his journey was the silent, sweet, gentle, simple giant, like Hodor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Hodor had his capabilities, and I'm sure if Hodor could say a few more words than Hodor, there would be more to it. But yeah, no way did I find the Jacob Elordi segment of the film derail the pace.
No, it was like a nice little like breath. I think even though it did slow down,
Yeah.
it was the perfect level of a pace of like, okay, yeah, we're going to see this character develop on his own.
Yeah, and it didn't shy away from action sequences. We have wolves in there.
Yeah, you know, for a movie that does feature like a monster and starts off with a great action sequence, if there hadn't have been those action sequences, I wouldn't have minded either.
No,
I didn't need anything.
No,
like that.
I'm not here for the action sequences. I'm here for the on-screen presence of this execution of man creating monster and monster becoming man and man becoming monster. You know?
Yeah.
You know, we're not there. We haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even the hunters, the family of David Bradley's character, came around and just immediately saw, like, they didn't even pay any heed to the dead wolves in their house. Just
immediately blamed him.
Yeah.
He's it's the classic. You know, he's judged by
it's racism.
It's what he looks like as opposed to who he is or what he's done or anything like that. They don't question anything of the wolves in the house. It's like, oh, you killed David Bradley. And it's like, no, not at all. What are you talking about?
I did like the little scene at the Curiosity part where he's roaming around the woods. He finds all these dead skeletons, the remains.
Yeah, it's the first time that he actually encounters the real world.
Yeah,
and it's not it's
not very pleasant.
He has the moment with the deer and like
Yeah.
this nice soft, the beauty of the world.
Yeah.
And immediately it's being shot at and immediately in danger, and he's thrust upon the actual dangers of the world.
He's shot as well.
Yeah.
I like that he picks up the little skull and he looks at it.
Yeah,
were these skeletal remains extra body parts that Victor assembled?
possibly, yeah.
Like could he be looking at the skull that half his brain came from?
Yeah, I never thought about that. Yeah, but yeah,
because he picks up a jacket from one of the skeletons and he throws that on. It's like, yeah, you're starting to wear the cloth that we expect you to wear. You know, because my earliest introduction of Frankenstein monster is in Van Helsing. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring up with you. What's it to make of the scenes where Dr. Frankenstein was recruiting his bodies?
I liked it. I liked it actually as a bit of a montage of like kind of the actual creation of the monster and the lengths that he went to find the perfect
body part.
of each part.
Yeah, my toe might be the best part of what he wants, and your ear might be the best part of what he wants. But like, it's so
just
many
because
parts.
just because your toe is the perfect, he's not going to take the whole foot.
Yeah,
he'll take exactly the perfect thing. He wanted to create this beauty.
He's going to public hangings of prisoners, and he's having them checked out before they're walking to the gallows. Yeah. Like, these are people's lives, and he's treated them as if they're
already the bodies.
Yeah,
they're not. They're
like,
not
he even says to one, "You're lucky you're being hanged with that, because you're."
Yeah, you'd be dead in the year.
He
anyway.
smelled his breath, and he already diagnosed him with something. It's like, you're one of the lucky ones. Congratulations, well done, dude. That's deep.
Yeah, it's no longer human. You're not.
No.
You're valuing the dead life that you're going to recreate over the actual lives of people that are there already.
While they are alive.
Yeah.
I really like that. I'm glad I didn't forget about that. I would have been hitting myself. But yeah, the scene that the monster confronts Frankenstein was good. Leads to Elizabeth's death, leads to William's death, leads to the...
All again at the hands of Victor, not the actual monster.
Not the monster himself. But it re-triggers Victor's obsession.
Yeah, his madness. Yeah, like
It triggers it again. And down the path of him following through the wilderness. But then, you know, even the monster was toying with him because he approaches him and he holds the dynamite and he says, run. And then he waits for the dynamite to blow him up just to give him the head start.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he can hold a dynamite in his hand and it can blow him up and he still have all his limbs. What happens if he has his head decapitated with a samurai sword? What happens then?
Don't know.
Is he able to pick it up and just find it?
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know. Don't put too much logic into it.
Okay.
Don't try and like Deadpool or anything like that.
I won't. Another thing I think is a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little conflicted on. I'm on the fence. I would say that. Hell, it's a quick montage, but it's damn well a long period of time of Victor hunting the monster. A simple storytelling in a room made him think, oh, I'm sorry. Victor Frankenstein went from his madness and obsession, his desire, his ultimate goal was to kill the thing he created. And just upon hearing his story, that made him think, oh shit, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's Victor seeing him no longer as a thing that he created, but as a person who has had his own life and his own experiences and is creating his own memories and wants to love in the same way that Victor wanted to love, that he wanted to love Elizabeth, and unfortunately Elizabeth didn't love him back. But clearly, as Victor has seen with the story that he's told, Elizabeth did love the monster.
Yeah.
And so Victor finally sees him as more than just something he created. It's his own person. So he's able to change his worldview. As I said, he embraces the son. Embraces him as his son, finally.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, with a U.
How many fucking metaphors are there in this movie?
Lots.
I just think maybe one noticeable insert shot or series of scenes,
cutbacks, through his story.
Or no, not even history.
In his story.
In his room, in that room, in that cabin that the monster's telling his story. If we could linger a few extra screen time seconds off Victor's face, and we as the audience can see Oscar Isaac perform the role that his character realizes how he misjudged the monster. And then it's fine, sorted. I accept it. 5 stars.
I think it is a 5-star movie.
It is a 5-star movie. I didn't give it 5 star because I needed like 2 hours to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough.
But I did look this up. Does Dr. Frankenstein die in the original novel? And he does.
Okay. It's you know what? After this, it has made me want to go and actually read the original novel.
Really?
Because don't forget, this book is written by a 19-year-old girl who
Irish. I think she's Irish, isn't she?
I don't know if she's Irish, but
Irish heritage.
But when the book was originally published, the credit was stolen by her husband.
Cunt.
Yeah, what a dickhead. I think even in the original movie, whatever the first movie this was, written by Mrs. like Peter Shelley, whatever her husband's name was. He doesn't deserve to be remembered, whatever his first name. We all know Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein, but she was credited as Mrs. So-and-so Shelley.
Well, Shelley, wherever you are, we acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You know, you can reap the rewards now, maybe. But just gotta say it, right? Bram Stoker, he's from Dublin. Okay? He created Dracula.
Yeah. So we got Dracula and Frankenstein.
We do. Technically, we do.
Nice. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
We're creating our own little pantheon of monsters.
We'll hold a panel podcast where we get to talk about how the Irish
monsters.
the Irish create everything.
the final thing that I think we should talk about is my favorite thing about Frankenstein, which is what people say about Frankenstein.
What's that?
Which is people say Frankenstein, and someone else will come up and they'll say, actually, Frankenstein is the name of the doctor. It's Frankenstein's monster. And what I would say to people is, actually, Frankenstein the doctor is Frankenstein the monster. It's my favorite thing about Frankenstein, I think, is that the people that try and correct you to say, actually, Frankenstein was the doctor. No. Victor Frankenstein is the monster. And I just love that. I love... We talked about it throughout the thing.
Oh, we've hinted the fuck out of it.
And we've said it the whole time, is that the monster of the story Frankenstein is not Frankenstein's monster. It is Victor Frankenstein. And I really do wish that Frankenstein's monster had a name. I think that, like I said earlier, we should call him Frankenstein's creature or something like that.
Frankenstein. I would call him Frankenstein.
We call him Frankenstein, and we call Victor Frankenstein Victor.
Yes.
But it's just, I just find it so funny when people are like, actually, it's Victor Frankenstein and it's Frankenstein monster. And it's like, no, Victor Frankenstein is the monster. When someone says Frankenstein, they are talking about the monster, no matter if they're talking about one character or the other. One is the monster and the other one is the actual monster.
I can just picture the little dweeb coming up and
actually
put correctly adjusting his glasses with his index finger.
It's Mandark in Dexter's laboratory. Actually, but yeah, no, it's my little like favorite thing about the Frankenstein story is how Victor is the actual monster.
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. Have you got a very quick recommendation before we let these people go?
I am going to recommend, if it ain't Landman Season 2, it's Landman Season 1. Because Landman Season 2 is just out, because fuck me, boy. Like, you gotta watch that. That is... Landman, for me, is what Yellowstone is for everyone else.
Okay.
And I haven't got a fucking notion about the oil industry, the drilling business. But I can find an interest if Billy Bob Thornton is the landman.
Yeah,
it's a good show. Your dad will watch, you know.
Yeah,
and your mother will watch because something's on, but she'll like it because she thinks it's fascinating, because it is actually good storytelling. Because no doubt it's from Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah. You got a good thing coming now. Taylor Sheridan working on Call of Duty movie, a movie that you had talked about years ago that I would love to see a Call of Duty movie. I think we did it in our video game wish list.
Keep an eye out for a TikTok I'll make.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a recommendation. I'm gonna do a risky recommendation.
A risky?
Something I haven't seen yet.
What business are you up to, Dave?
I'm gonna recommend.
Did you get that?
What bit risky business? Oh,
Yeah,
you're very smart, Brian. I'm gonna recommend Wicked Part 2. I haven't seen it yet, but I just have a feeling it's going to be good. And when this episode comes out on Wednesday, tomorrow on Thursday, I'm actually doing a Wicked double bill. In some of the cinemas, they're doing that. You can watch the first one and the second one back to back.
You're doing that tomorrow?
I'm doing that on Thursday. Yeah,
on Thursday. Oh, yeah. Right. Sorry, pal, I can't make it.
That's all right. I didn't think that you would, but I'm there for it. I'm gonna enjoy it. Like,
okay, we can do it. We can talk about it.
No, I don't want to even talk about it.
Okay,
I don't like. There's nothing like Wicked. It speaks for itself. It's not one that I'm mad to do an episode on, but I'm just excited for it.
You know, I can't believe I've gone this far up until maybe a month ago that I just didn't Google a few questions about Wicked. Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. So I spoiled it for myself.
Yeah, I haven't seen the stage show, but I knew some things about it.
Knew or no?
I knew, and now I know, because I was like, I remember, I think we were talking about it, and you were saying something, and I was like, I was kind of biting my tongue.
No, come on.
No, I can't, because we'll say it after the show, because people here are listening to us now just rambling. But listen, we'll let them go because we've had them already for over an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, let them go. Brian, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Talking Picture Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're subscribed to us on your favorite podcasting app of choice. We have new episodes every single Wednesday, as well as bonus episodes every other weekend for the foreseeable future. You can follow us on all of our social medias. They're down in the links below. This podcast is brought to you by Another Happy Studio, so make sure that you're following everyone in our podcast network and listening to the other podcasts like Still Got Legs and The Fishing Trip Files. Brian, any final words before we let people go?
Dave, when was the last time I thanked you for hosting?
I think it was
5 seconds from now.
5 seconds from now. Yeah, go for it.
4, 5. David, thank you for hosting.
Oh, thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate it.